Thanks for tuning back in. I'm Tommy Campbell, still bald, still in my basement, and kind of amazed that Republicans continue to back convicted felon Donald Trump when he's stumbling through rallies rambling about sunken batteries and sharks. You know, the real issues facing America. Well, it happened. Hunter Biden is guilty on all 3 charges, and instead of celebrating, the right wing now wants you to believe that President Biden, the guy that they can't decide if he's a sleepy old man or a juiced-up criminal mastermind, well, the right wing want you to believe that he orchestrated Hunter's guilty conviction as part of his deep state elaborate plan to justify Trump's criminal charges. You really can't make it up, but Trump supporters are doing orange Kool-Aid keg stands, and the crazy is compounding with them and their diapered leader, whose Las Vegas Trump rally had some of his most ridiculous moments to date that I'm going to get into and more, but first this.
We've heard that some of them have been asked to submit documents to be vetted. You're not at that level yet.
Well, so look,
are you?
They've asked us for a number of things. I think that a number of people have been asked to submit this and that.
Like your taxes or something?
I don't know everything
Your
that they've been
background?
asked. But yeah, I mean, certainly have you committed a crime? Have you ever lied about this? Certainly you have those conversations, but I think a lot of people were having those conversations.
Do you feel like you're at a...
Do you wear heaps of eyeliner? Yes. Yes, Team Trump is deciding or pretending to decide on a VP pick, and you have J.D. Vance throwing out, have you ever committed a crime? Have you ever lied about this? In a normal world, this would be a throwaway, like, of course not. It's like, do you have a bomb in your bag at the airport? Obviously not. Okay, you got me, haha. But in Trump world, having some criminality is a box you want to be checking. And I will note again that J.D. Vance is a big early investor of Rumble, the right-wing pro-Russia video dumpster fire site. It is pouring MAGA tears. I played in 35 countries for over 2 decades, but most days you'll find me here. Thanks for taking in this bald comedian's take on things. Please join the best subscribers on YouTube while I blast the latest and stupid and more.
Joey Chestnut signed a deal with a plant-based company, eliminating him from Nathan's event. Another totally woke loser. Such a shame. You know, every year I take Ivanka down to Coney Island and beg her to enter the contest. You gotta do this. She always said no, but that didn't stop this dad from hoping one day she'd go for it, and I'd get to see her stuff tubular meat in her gorgeous mouth and be so proud.
This is really cool.
But those J6 warriors, they were warriors, but they were really more than anything else. They're victims of what happened. All they were doing is protesting a rigged election. That's what they were doing. And then the police say, go in, go in, go in, go in.
Honestly, if it were up to Trump, he would get rid of the military, the people he called losers and suckers, and would replace them with this J6 warrior lot that were in Gravy Seal cosplay outfits trying to climb walls adjacent to stairs. These are stupid, weak people that fell for his big lie, many of them ending up in jail because of it.
And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery, and the battery's now underwater, and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too, a lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted if the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking? Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted, or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark. So we're going to end that. We're going to end it for boats. We're going to end it for trucks. The trucks.
Look at that moron with the goatee nodding along, okay? Nobody's ever asked him that question because he's never encountered anyone this stupid. This is up there with injecting disinfectant. Trump often talks about batteries being underwater as if it's some sort of danger. You know what else is underwater? Nuclear submarines. Now, sharks don't hunt people. They don't know what people are, the way dogs don't know what airplanes are. And when they bite people, they let go very quickly because bones. If you're eating a Greek salad and you hit that one Kalamata olive that wasn't pitted, that's what it's like for the shark. No, no, no. Get me a nice, juicy seal, and that woman should have ID that says, not a seal. That would make it so much simpler for the shark. Not a seal.
Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. This needs to be on a billboard on a loop in Times Square. Please, someone.
Especially African Americans and Hispanic Americans and African Americans are the ones suffering most with this incredible.
I am a real Hispanic.
And by the way, just in case you're wondering, I got no teleprompters, and I haven't from the beginning. These people. No, I got no teleprompter. You know, I pay all this money to teleprompter people, and I'd say 20% of the time they don't work. They don't work. The thing's waving around. They can't tie it a little bit tighter. I'm trying to look at. The only thing that pisses me off are the teleprompters. It's so much easier. The only one that can't read a teleprompter is Joe Biden.
The right wing has made so much about Trump not using teleprompters while he's always used teleprompters, and he's not even hiding it anymore. In fact, now it's about him reading teleprompters better than Biden, but Biden is up against a stutter. He always has to work through this, and Trump is just up against the last two brain cells running from the spray tan hair dye seeping into his body.
He just came up. Are the teleprompters not working, sir? Not even a little bit. Great job. And then I don't pay the company that does it, right? And then I end up with a story Trump doesn't pay.
What Trump actually does is claim things are poorly done, even when they're done on time and done well. He just uses this as a way to not pay out. He is scum.
The Democrats and the fake news media want to constantly talk about, oh, President Trump is a convicted felon. Well, you want to know something? The man that I worship is also a convicted felon.
You know Trump loves this Jesus thing, so I think he should show commitment to it and get put up on a cross at his next rally. All 4 New Testament Gospels record he was stripped of his clothing at the cross, but we can just leave Trump in his diapers. We'll give him that, since they are fans of the diapers.
Now he's going back and we're talking world leaders, we're talking money, we're talking arms, we're talking serious
minor
negotiations.
incursions.
And I'm really worried about how the United States is going to be portrayed in these G7 meetings, because if they see more weakness from our president, they're going to see us as weak as a country, and I'm concerned about that.
Yeah.
Well, they love them because they get what they want. They don't have to pay up.
Right.
So.
Okay, just in case any viewers from the entertainment channel for Married Cousins stumbled on the Tommy Campbell show and were like, yeah, they're not going to pay and they're going to make us pay. G7 going to raise our prices like Netflix and woke Disney. Let me just explain this to you. The G7 is an informal bloc of advanced democracies that meet annually to coordinate global economic policy and address other transnational issues such as the rise of AI. The United States, France, Italy, Japan, the UK, and West Germany formed the Group of 6 in 1975 to provide a venue for non-communist powers to address pressing economic concerns, which included inflation and a recession sparked by the OPEC oil embargo. Canada joined the following year, and the EU has participated fully in the G7 since 1981 as a non-enumerated member. The G7 is not a formal institution with a charter and a secretariat. The presidency, which rotates annually among member states, is responsible for setting the agenda of each year's summit and arranging logistics for it. In 2024, Italy is acting as president. A lot of people rely on Fox News for information, and that's like relying on Marlboro for nutrition.
And you think gas prices are high now? Just wait until you're forced to drive an electric vehicle.
You think hot dog prices are high now? Wait until you're forced to eat hamburgers. If you're driving an electric vehicle, though, why would you even care about gas prices? Ultimately, the goal is to have solar and hydroelectric power charging our cars, and the crazy talk against electric vehicles is just lunacy. Even if you aren't driving one for the environment, you will have a quiet car with minimal maintenance and potentially free to fill up.
I've said this, and for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Whenever you tip me, it's taxed, and I'm fine with that. It is estimated that dozens of billions of dollars in tips are earned every year. Now, let me just roll back the clock. When I was working in a kitchen making $6 an hour, putting away the walk-in cooler at 5:30 in the morning, then cutting meat, making sauces, prepping the line for the lunch rush, doing afternoon prep before changeover, and finishing work around 6, I'd have a 12-hour day if I was lucky. Now, there was an age that I noticed that the servers all had girlfriends, pretty good cars, and would show up with tans because a few of them would go to Mexico or Europe together, while most of us in the kitchen were driving beaters or taking the bus and were getting cut, burnt, and went home smelling like grease. This was a big, okay, don't hate the player, hate the game moment for me. After taxes, I was taking home around $600 every 2 weeks, and I found out that they made that on a Friday and Saturday night. Mind blown. Fast forward to now, I work as much as I did back when I was in the kitchen for often similar pay. But I love doing this, and I feel like comedy can make a difference. So if Trump eliminates taxes on tipping, the data shows that nearly $40 billion in taxes were paid in tips, and he'll have to make up for that money in another area. Here I get some revenue from ads, but that's completely unpredictable and unreliable. Out of nearly 400 videos I've made, I've had one sponsored video, that's it, and I'd like to get more, but a lot of sponsors are scared of political comedy, even clean shows like this one. So again, tips has always been a big part of the show. I see every dollar that comes in, and it's why I'm still here. You're part of that, and I think that's pretty cool.
Now, there are some even saying, Mark, that Donald Trump might be wise to just pass on the first debate, wait till he's nominated, then debate him. What would you say to that?
What happened to any time, anywhere? Now it's maybe he should skip this one? I think Sean Hannity's been watching the footage of the recent rallies and realizing Donald Trump is about as sharp as a ladle. Your commitment to stupidity is astounding. Trump 2024, get ready to move, MFs. MAGA tears. The entire state know the Bidens and Hunter will get off on all charges. The case is a corrupt joke. Mark my words. MAGA tears. Alex Johns is a patriot. Maybe stop it with the dumb impersonations, Tommy. MAGA tears. Well, it happened. Rusty is a little lighter, and he joined the right wing in the No Balls Club. Been a long time since I neutered a dog. Okay, I had a dog neutered. I'm not in the sack slicing business. But man, he is sentenced to the cone of shame for a couple weeks. And he had 3 puppy teeth removed when he was under. And he's not allowed to run or jump. And he's on soft food. So it's going to be a while. I'm doing my best to make him feel less sorry for himself. I mean, it's got to be confusing, right? Goes for a car ride. And then he gets poked in the back, has a bunch of crazy dreams, wakes up with a cone and no balls to lick. So spare a thought for the pug that can no longer teabag chihuahuas at the dog park, and for the guy out $750. Can't make it up. But Trump supporters are doing orange Kool-Aid keg stands, and the crazy is compounding with them and their diapered leader, who's Las Vegas Trump lolly. Yes, Team Trump is deciding, or pretending to decide, on a VP pick. Honestly, if it were up to Trump, he would get rid of the military, the ones he called losers and suckers, and replace them with these J6 warriors that were in their Gravy Seals cosplay outfits trying to climb walls adjacent to stairs. I just can't. That's so stupid. Thanks for watching. Please stick around and check out another one of my videos. Say hello in the comments. Find my stand-up on Spotify, streamed by millions, and add me on Facebook and Instagram. It all helps. Be cool, be kind, take care.